penis, my sexual exploits. Yeah, this is the yeah. Because I've been a fireman. I mean, well, I'm not going to get into all the bedroom stuff I've done, but I'm into it. So like, okay, special prosecutor. That's my next one.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, so you got to pay attention to the balls. You do. That's an imperative thing.
Yep. And she'll just walk out in fucking overalls and covered in yeast, and you're like, my God, you're the hottest girl I've ever seen in my life. And she's like the most down to
Covered in
earth. Like she's
yeast.
like, well, from making beer.
I can go. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
Soren Kierkegaard said, "There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true." George Orwell told us that in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, while Aldous Huxley reminded us that facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Lastly, Joe Class said, "The truth will set you free. But first, it will piss you off." This is the news show, Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, January 13th, 8:22 p.m. in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell, the news show. Fitz, we made it through another week. We've got a lot of news to talk about. We have some fine individuals in chat. How are you doing?
I'm great. We also, just to add some fun and spice into the show, we've also got a couple of things to cross off of our bingo board again. We are, what is this, January 13th?
January
We've already
13th,
crossed,
yes.
what, 2 or 3 things now.
Yes.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff. I am so glad we're doing this. This is going to have to be an annual thing. It's
Oh.
just, it's too fun.
For sure. We're going to get into that, and I'm actually sorry that we'll get into what I'm sorry about, because there was a couple of looks like blatantly obvious ones that we should have put on there, and we didn't. So we'll have to talk about that too in housekeeping. But yes,
It's true, but
we have
I
a
mean,
new one to knock off.
yeah, we do. So fun stuff. Yeah, no, great week. I know we're going to get into it a little further. Personally here, Cold Bomb 2024 has hit officially. The Arctic air slid down into the Willamette Valley, and I have 4 inches of ice on everything.
Can I just say that ice looks really, really horrible when it's hanging off of stuff?
I mean, it's beautiful. But I mean, I'd much rather have snow. Give me 5 feet of snow, rather than an inch of ice. It's awful. You can't walk. You can't drive. It's just nasty stuff. And then, the fun part will be when it starts to melt on like Wednesday and it starts sliding off the roof in sheets, which is, actually deadly if you're not careful. So fun stuff.
So are you going to have to work? I'm guessing on you don't have to work Monday, right?
No, I've got Monday off.
Okay.
There's a good chance we will have a delayed start for Tuesday. Now, the problem with Tuesday is we've got another round coming in, and it's probably going to be another ice storm. And it's about 12, 13 miles away. And so I drive Subarus, and I've got chains for my tires. But that all being said, I think they'll probably give us a delayed start or maybe just close for the day. It's just too treacherous to be driving out there.
I'm gonna see if we can close for the day here, because it was
Just in
59.
solidarity?
Yeah, it was 59 degrees, and I feel really bad, and I feel like we need to do that with you guys, because we're like
that would
sister
feel
cities, right? I think.
right. Exactly. I was just gonna say it would feel really good if our sister city would do that for us. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
We should do that. What beer are you drinking?
All right, mystery beer. All I know is the brewery, and it is a new brewery. Now, it's not a new brewery that I've never seen before. It's just I've not had one of their beers before. This
Oh,
is
okay.
from Wiley Roots.
Oh, very good brewery. I love Wiley.
Yeah. So, and I've seen some of their beers and been tempted, but something always, rides over the top of it. That's what she said, pretty sure.
You know,
But
always are on top.
yeah, I've never gotten a Wiley Roots beer. So this is my first one. It poured black with a thin white head. So I'm thinking it's some sort of possibly an imperial stout. On the outside edge, it could be a porter, but I don't know. Let's see what we got here.
You're going to be in for a treat. I haven't had a Wiley Roots that is not a very well finished beer.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh daddy. All right. So we're gonna go on a journey with Fitz.
Okay. This isn't a sex beer, is it? Or do you know yet?
Can you just be patient?
I'm sorry. I have a reason to be really excited for this. Go ahead.
It's early in the morning. You're in the shower. You don't really want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
One eye is still shut. But you happen to glance down and there's an erection staring at you. And I mean, what are you gonna do? You're not hurting anybody, and it's a good way to wake up. So you just go for it. And that's what this beer is. It's a happy little surprise. It's a shower boner. It's okay. So
A shower boner. That's all right. We're writing that down in the book.
all right. So I'm getting some maple. I'm getting some pecan. I'm fairly certain it's an imperial stout. Some maple, some pecan. Really, I mean, it's really, it's not one of those beers that's just so oversweet you're done.
Yep.
It's really nice, very subtle, but solid. I'm gonna guess, what was that first one up there? Yeah, the imperial something hazelnut almond maple.
Exactly. So here's the thing. So there's special releases. Imperial Porter, Imperial Porter, Imperial Porter, Feist Beer, Imperial Stout, Imperial Stout, Imperial Porter, Imperial Stout. I mean, they are crazy good. So this might be the biggest challenge that you've had.
Okay, hold on. Before I do the reveal, I'm going to take another sip and see if I can get any other subtleties that'll give it away here.
All right.
It's definitely not the coconut.
Okay.
Definitely not the peanut butter. I got to go with the hazelnut almond maple.
Okay. So it's a little bit more dry?
No, the maple kind of wets it. Kind of gets it wet and sticky for you.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right,
let's unveil it.
Yep, unveiling right now. Breakfast at Wiley's Maple Coffee Pecan. So this one's not even on that website that you have up, but I nailed the flavors.
Holy
Maple, pecan.
cow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you murdered the flavors. So they just didn't
coffee,
have this. Wow. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
it's just not on there. No, it's just not on there. Coffee is real subtle. Sometimes the coffee can get too much in these beers, but the coffee is really pleasant. You know what? That might be what tamped down the sweetness, was the coffee bitterness there.
All right.
Wow. I'm impressed. Very, very good beer.
Now, we need to know if this was a sex beer. So we're going to leave the audience. Aaron, Buttercup, Tabs, is this considered a sex beer? I mean, jerking it in the shower, to me, that's like, solo's okay. That's perfectly fine.
And
in my opinion, I'd say yes.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was, you didn't plan it. You just kind of looked down and bam, there it is.
There you are.
Yeah.
So is this considered a sex beer? And it's okay to say no. We're not going to get any takers on this one.
I think everyone's asleep. Oh,
Aaron's going to count. Or Aaron's going to count it.
All right.
Tabs is going to count it.
All right.
All right. Well, that's at least two. Fitz.
I think that makes a quorum.
Yep. Here you go, Fitz. This is for you.
Ooh.
That's your new
Wow.
sounder for any time that you have a sex beer.
That was that was great. She really sounded like she was having a good time there. It's almost like someone said cardamom. Blah, 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 blah.
Right? I should, you know what? I
Wow.
might go ahead and fix that next time and put some licking in there.
that's that's fabulous. Well played, sir. I for those of you out there listening along, I had no idea that was coming. So that was, so to speak, no pun intended. Well done. Well done.
All right.
What are you drinking over there?
Well, I just spilled it on me. So first of all,
Oh no.
we'll see if it's lickable off of me. There we go.
Bam.
Um. All right. Mike actually bailed, and I was actually drinking this one for him. So
Oh.
Mike can fuck off, Mr. Gray. um.
Oh.
So again, coming out of my little happy zone, my comfort zone, I'm drinking Animal Face, a triple baboon collab by Inner Voice Brewing, Two Tides, and I need to look up the other one. I think it was Mesorium, who I've never had before. But this is it's considered, I guess, a smoothie or a pastry sour. It doesn't pour like it. It looks like a regular sour to me. But this is a sour with strawberry, watermelon, raspberry, peach, banana, and pineapple. And I can tell you it smells like... I guess it kind of has a little bit of a smoothie character to it. It smells heavy in pineapple.
Okay. That's not always a bad thing.
Thick mouthfeel.
Mm.
Slightly sour. Heavy on the pineapple. Like heavy on the pineapple. That's actually the sour part. Everything else kind of mellows it out, I think. I'm not really getting the peach yet. Or the strawberry. The watermelon is the color for it. And then the pineapples, it's like I said, it's heavy in the pineapple. Not bad. I do like the bite it has to it, though. That's good. That's good. We'll see how that one goes.
Well, yeah, and isn't
not bad.
pineapple juice isn't that supposed to make your ejaculate taste better?
Yeah, I think it sweetens it up, maybe.
That's what I heard. I mean,
yeah, I'm not really positive.
pretty sure that beer is an ejaculate sweetener.
I think that's the first time ejaculate sweetener's ever been said on the show.
I hope so. And honestly, I mean, I have done experiments. You know, I'm a scientist at heart. I've done
Sure.
experiments with that, and I have not. The people I've been with have not reported any difference. No matter how much pineapple juice I drink, which I love pineapple juice. It's like my favorite juice. So
So do you like have a scale when you do that? And like on a scale of 1 to 10?
well,
Or
I
is
didn't.
it actually going for taste?
It was a palate thing.
Okay.
And my argument was, and you'll love this. I think you'll appreciate where I was going here. My argument was we can't just do it once because, maybe you had, a dinner that didn't pair well with pineapple. So we did it after dinner. We did it after dessert. We did it on an empty stomach. We tried several.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta find where the placebo is.
You have to
So
figure out the different variables in order to get as close to
yeah,
the
right.
truth.
You got to get a
And
baseline.
that's right.
But I mean, but still, there was no reported difference. So take it for
All
what
right.
it is. Maybe I just have a really good. Maybe I just metabolize pineapple especially well. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
maybe I'll have something to report. We've already run Buttercup off, so she's already left.
Dang, that
That's
didn't
really
take long.
really sad, but it's all right. Maybe she'll pop back on later. We'll see. All right. Let's call it, Fitz. This is your baby.
All right. Scratch it off on your bingo cards. Cold Bomb 2024 is official. We've got, well, good God. I saw a report out of Billings, Montana today that was, I believe their high was going to be -32. That's their high. with the sun up, you know. So yeah, I would say that constitutes. I mean, there are actually cold records falling all over the country. You know, for this date, this is like one of the coldest days. So yeah, Cold Bomb 2024 is official. Scratch it off if you have it. Smoke them if you don't. This is you know, there's cold bombs and then there's like life threatening stuff. This one's life threatening. I mean, you should not be out. You should not have your animals out. It's funny, you know, I live on just off of kind of a busy road. There have been, I'm going to say 15 cars all day. And half of those were city trucks spraying the road, just trying to get the ice to melt. So it's been really quiet around here, which is nice. I think everybody was just like, okay, if I don't have to go somewhere, I'm not going to. So pretty bad. And I know other parts of, you know, the Midwest, Kentucky, where we have some of our listeners, some of our friends, Grazer in Kentucky. It's cold there. Snapchat yesterday. Okay, so Leisha, I hope I'm saying that right. Leisha
Yeah. Yeah. You
from
got it.
Drinks and Things. Yeah, sent Snapchat yesterday said they were at negative 36. That's that's I've been in that kind of cold once in my life in Chicago and I you know well just outside of Chicago in Great Lakes and they wouldn't let us leave the barracks without a partner. Like you have to go everywhere with somebody. You can't go anywhere alone. Just too dangerous. So crazy shit. Crazy shit.
Now I want to run something by you. Beard of Liberty was very kind and sent us a picture of a northeastern wind that's blowing from Texas. What would you call this erection flying out of Texas? Is that
That's a shower
cold
boner
boner?
right there.
Or is it
That's a shower boner. It's a cold shower boner.
Because man, I can see Texas is having a hell of a time right now. They've got boners coming out, just chilling out the whole country, the whole northeastern side of the country. They've shut down their own border, taken it back this week.
Right.
They're throwing down, and I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, and again, if we recall last year, and I believe 2022, the early part of 2022, Texas had an almost complete failure of their power grid because so many people were turning off the heat. Right. They're back under threat of that again with this polar dip. So, hearts going out to our Texas friends out there. Beard, hope you're staying warm, man, and all of our other Texas friends out there. Just stay warm, hunker down, and hopefully the power grid holds.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But Texas also has a really shitty power grid. It's that they've not done, and it's like the last thing that they want to work on over there.
Well, they're also their own power grid.
They are their own power
Like
grid.
like everybody else is attached to someone else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no redundancy.
No.
Very little.
No.
So I'm gonna apologize to everybody a little bit tonight. I have been under the weather this whole last week.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. My doctor wasn't freaking out of it. I felt like shit. I wasn't freaking out over it. It wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm not buying the whole. It wasn't this whole COVID-2 that's running around. So it wasn't that. But you might hear me sniff a little bit. So I apologize if that is something that's going on. The thing that I'm thankful for is I still have the voice that goes along with it. So I'm looking forward to using that repeatedly tonight.
Oh yeah, no, dude, you sound great. You're getting me a little worked up over here.
All right. Well, that's we got to be ready for when Hefe gets in here because he's got a surprise for us too.
Yeah, he does. I'm not going to give it away, but I'm excited. No. I'm very much looking forward to his spot on the show, which should be here in the next minute or two, really.
It is. Yep. All right. Stuff that we want to go ahead and get into. We do now, not a lot of information really. I don't think this changed in the last week. But the German farmers continue to strike. Still big time strike. We're talking 3 miles long of just tractors locking up roadways, doing everything they possibly can to muck things up. So they're still at it. But along with that, a rail strike came, a 3-day rail
Yeah.
strike. Germany, we're at a precipice. We really are. You know, we've got half the U.S. is bucking back against the liberal mob. You've got in Europe, you've got countries, parts of countries that are going against, I guess, the globalists, the whole European Union idea. I'm not going to say that things are falling apart, but we've definitely seen a change in attitude in many areas. And for this
I
week, I'm not
yeah.
freaking out over those little things. I mean, they're not little;
No.
they're big things. But those areas, those little pockets, it's just been interesting to watch.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what it is, number one, the thing, remember when the internet really started to kick off, and one thing that everybody was excited about is like you could know, I mean, any question you had, anything you wanted to research, anything you wanted to find out, you could find out.
Yeah,
Um, and really what the gift of the internet has been is that we get to know what's going on in every corner of the world instantly. And so because of that, I think people are now more willing to say, hey, if these fucking idiots over here are saying this and they're trying to get us to do the thing,
mm-hmm.
and those fucking idiots over there are saying that, trying to get those people to do the thing, maybe it's a coordinated thing and we should all protest and rebel. And so I think we are all a bit more willing to protest, to rebel, um to stand up and say, no, I've done my research and I know better. You're just doing this for your own agenda. You're not doing it for the greater good. Um, because I mean, think about it. 50 years ago, if something like COVID had torn through the country, say it was 1974, right? COVID tears through the country. Everybody would have just done what the fuck the government told them to and never questioned it. Maybe some comedians might have said something here or there, a George Carlin or somebody like that. Um, but for the most part, the public would have just stood up straight, given the salute, and done their duty for the greater good. We're not willing to do that anymore because we're asking questions and there's no answers to those questions. So then we ask more questions, and so that's all to say. Coming full circle here, back to the German farmers, their very way of life, their existence, the way they make money, the way they feed their families, and the way they feed everyone else's families is being put in jeopardy.
Right.
And they're asking questions like, why would you do this? Why would you change that? And no one's having any answers. So they're like, all right, well then fuck you. Answer this. And they start spraying shit on the roads. They start parking their tractors on the freeways. The best video of the week, I think, was that guy trying to move that giant tractor with this tiny
gosh.
little Daihatsu van or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, not only was he a moron, he couldn't even like get the straps to stay on, but even if he'd had him and 6 of his buddies with those vans, they
Oh, it
wouldn't
wouldn't
have been
work.
able to move that fucking tractor. No,
No,
it's got
no,
the
it's
fucking
just
park brake on.
it was like a 10-ton John Deere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
No,
might as well be trying to pick up my own house.
I was waiting for his whole back end to be pulled out.
Yeah, I wanted his whole rear axle to be pulled off, and like in the cartoons. That's what I wanted. Like
So
Flintstones, he's running, and then boom, the back wheels are still, on attached to the dinosaur.
definitely take a look at our show notes because we've got one of the folks we like to go back and take a look at is Vigilant Fox. It's at Vigilant Fox on X. With any of these sites, find something that you're interested in. Say, okay, that's interesting. Then go and look and find 3 other sources that to make sure you check it, because there's so much bullshit that's out there right now. But this is pretty static across everything that we checked, and it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
consistent.
interesting.
And
Do
it's
you
and
feel
it's
like? Sorry, go ahead.
no, I just wanted to say one other thing. It's very telling that you have to go out and search to find this footage. Like it's not being televised everywhere. It's being buried, actively buried. And so I mean, just that alone should tell you a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. I don't know that we have as many farmers that could go out and do this. I really don't. I'm curious to see how many we actually have out there.
I don't, yeah, I don't know about numbers. I do know about their will and their ability to make this happen. I mean, I don't know. That would be an interesting question to see if farmers in this country were pushed to this precipice, if how they would show up, in what numbers would they show up? That's a good question.
I'm curious how many farmers there actually are right now.
Oh God, I'm gonna say 500,000.
I'm consulting Grok, which I've
Yeah, you
actually
are.
come to really like that. I really, really like this AI.
Yeah, yeah. Are
You
you on?
were very close. Well done.
Holy
Two,
shit!
2
Well,
million
not
farmers in the
really.
United States.
2 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I said
Oh, yeah.
500,000. Times
Yeah.
fours. That's what I meant. Times four.
Accounts for 1 in
Um,
10 jobs with 914 million acres of farmland. I don't know how much that actually counts towards Bill Gates, but there's your interesting stats for the evening.
well, he's got like what 400 and some thousand, 419,000 acres or something.
Something like
Um,
that.
yeah, I mean 2 million people, dude, and that's a lot of farm equipment. That's a lot of people that I mean, I guarantee you 99% of them own guns. I saw a meme the other day. Can I just bring this up on the show? This is kind of off-roading, and if it doesn't go anywhere, we can always edit it out. But
No, go ahead.
it kind of I saw a meme, and it really made me feel stupid, or not stupid, but just like, wow, why didn't I think about that? It was about J6, and basically the meme went something like this. So you're telling me that in the most heavily armed country on the planet, that the most heavily armed conservative folks in this country showed up for a violent, quote unquote, violent insurrection at the Capitol with zero guns. I mean, what
Isn't that
they
weird?
found that one car with
alleged
supposedly,
pipe bombs.
yeah, pipe bombs, right? But that was it. No weapons. So
Right.
you're telling me that the conservative right wing of this country, who was so up in arms that the election was stolen, they showed up with flags, hats, and cigarettes, and that's it. And I thought, fuck, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because if I was just going down to my city council to talk about some shit, I'd probably bring my sidearm. I mean, I just would, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I have a concealed carry, so why wouldn't I? And I just thought, so that's like another thing in there where I'm like, okay, J6 makes zero sense. And I know we kind of went past that. We did our last show on January 6th, and we kind of didn't talk about it much, the anniversary, but it was just kind of one of those aha moments. Like, that's another thing that just doesn't jive with that whole deal.
I don't think that that definitely didn't come up. It really didn't. I don't remember anything being said like that. Yet you see people getting all kinds of jail time. I mean, hell, somebody's getting
Right.
some guy is getting. I want to say is one of the Proud Boys allegedly. He took an axe handle there, and he's getting jail time like 4 years or something for it. With all the other stuff that we see going on, the rapists, the assaults, the theft, and we'll get into some Canadian thieves that are apparently going to be off the hook in Montreal. For the stuff that happened on January 6th is absolutely absurd, the amount of jail time that people are getting. Especially this Ray Epps character that's going to get, I think he got like 6 months house arrest or something ridiculous. And it's been virtually proven that he's an FBI plant. So,
Right.
yeah,
He's
it
an agent
doesn't make any
provocateur.
sense. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't, and just not, we're going to go here. Fuck it. Tonight, you have thousands and thousands of protesters in D.C. outside of the
Yeah,
um,
I'm glad you went here. I'm glad you went here because I was
yep,
about to. Yep.
outside of the White House because of the attacks on Yemen this week. We're totally going to jump around this week because of the attacks on Yemen, and they're trying to take out the barricades outside of the White House. Now they're not.
I believe they broke through.
There was reports that they were broke through, but the videos that I saw when they were claiming that they broke through, I didn't see any go through it.
Okay.
So it's still possible. I know they did damage to it, and apparently the Secret Service had to fix it. So regardless, when you see acts like that, and you see acts like when Gaza first started back in October, where they're storming the Capitol building, or one of the wings of the Capitol building. Our what we're calling an insurrection is very convenient for Democrats. That's really what it comes down to.
Sure
it's
is.
okay when one group does it. It's okay when another group does it. But when our enemies do it, our political enemies do it, then hey, we're going to go ahead and throw the books at you.
Yeah, do everything we can to seize your assets, to make you do jail time. And here's what's very possible is that in 2 years, for various reasons, these people might be cleared of all charges. It doesn't matter. The damage is done.
Oh, they lost time.
They lost time. Their shit's been seized. You're never going to get it all back. Never.
Your career's over.
That's the thing is you're now blacklisted. And you mentioned Yemen. Are we going there yet, or should we wait? Because
let's wait.
That's a whole other. Yeah.
I want to pivot to Fani Willis real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis exposed for secretly collaborating with the January 6th committee before indicting Donald Trump. Nathan Wade, Willis' chief prosecutor and alleged romantic partner, documented 4 covert meetings. I really like Kanoka the Great. You guys he's on X too. I really like the way the guy writes. Very easy, good flow. He can even spell, which a lot of these jackasses can't.
Yep.
Meetings held between the January 6th committee and the prosecution team, April 18th to the 21st, 2022, May 30th, 2022, September 7th through the 9th, 2022, November 16th, 2022. In addition, court documents reveal that Fani Willis's team conducted 2 secretive meetings with the Biden White House on May 23rd and November 18th. This is the district attorney for New York conspiring with the President of the United States. I don't see how more or how you can get any more corrupt, perverted in how you're going to actually try to prosecute laws. It's just surreal to me. And we've been screaming this the whole time, right? It's election fraud. It's election interference. It's manipulation. That's all this is. And now it's blatantly obvious, but nobody wants to call it that.
And even though it's in our face like this, it's blatantly obvious, as you put it, which it is. I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask everybody else out there, what do you think is going to happen because of this? What will be done to Fani? And yes, Mike, to your point, I was going to ask the same question. Why the fuck would you name your kid Fani? But regardless, it was done. And here she is, living up to her name. She's being a jackass. But what's going to be done to Fani? What's going to be done about this? About what's going to be done to Joe, to his administration? She should be disbarred. She should probably have something put in her fanny before she goes to prison. But none of that will happen. We're going to prosecute people who showed up, again, with a flag, a hat, and a cigarette. We're going to put them in prison for a long time because they were mad about how the election went. And yet you have blatant law-breaking shit like this happening, and nothing will be done. Nothing. I mean, again, going back to the whole internet thing, it's like, we know this now. Let's I'm ready to fight, dude. I'm making torches. I'm ready to fire up some torches. I'm gonna grab my pitchfork. Let's do this. Who do I have to stab with a pitchfork? Not that I'm condoning violence. I would.
And on top of it, right? The prosecutor who's been working for her, this Nathan Wade, he's been financing romantic trips with her. It's her fucking boyfriend.
Wow.
So she's been the state of New York's been paying for it because he's a special prosecutor. But yeah, okay, it's perfectly fine. We're there's no impropriety there.
I've done some some role playing stuff in the bedroom before. I think my next one is gonna be I want to be special prosecutor.
Okay. So who's the judge? You need a judge, a jury. You need a defense.
Dude. That you just named my next sex orgy. It's going to be called Fitz's Court or something like that. I like this. This is good. This this is the judicial arm of my
Is that what it is?
my penis, my sexual exploits. Yeah, this is the because I've been a fireman. I mean, well, I'm not going to get into all the bedroom stuff I've done, but I'm into it. So like, okay, special prosecutor. That's my next one.
See, I've never role played. I wouldn't have any problem with it, but yeah, Noah's ever been like, hey, that's got to be a thing. So you're welcome.
I almost went into a really dark place. I'm not going to go there on air, but maybe in the after show, I'm going to tell you about one that I did. It's borderline questionable, but I did it. So here we are.
All right. We're
Thank you.
Calliope and Elle and Mike, all three of you guys have just showed up. So thank you for coming along.
We get so personal, and you know what? Why not? You only live once, right?
Do.
YOLO. Yeah. All right.
So where do you want to go from here? Do you want to just keep pounding on on the politics side of it here and just get it over with?
Oh, I'm pounding.
All right.
I'm kind of surprised Hefe's not here yet, but that's okay. We'll just keep plugging away. Oh my God, this might have been the highlight of the week. Are you about to play this?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, oh God, this is so good. All right, you're in for a treat.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
Genius. Absolutely fucking genius.
Where residents feel like presidents. I mean, it was good until that last 5 seconds, and then it just went up a level. It totally leveled up. That's so brilliant.
Well, it helps when Joe can say something that's just to make things really, really awkward.
Well, right, and we have no less than half a dozen different examples of him having senior moments this week. Which was the giant exclamation mark on it was. Did you see him with that young teenage girl?
Yeah,
yeah.
Here, this one here.
I mean, she's visibly trying to pull away from him.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't give it up. And God bless you, little girl, whoever you are. If I was in that room, Secret Service would have had to hold me back because that's not okay to do to anybody.
Well,
to anybody, but especially somebody going through, being at that age, going through those changes that she's going through, and then you have this guy, and you're expected to just sit there and fucking take it. It's disgusting.
Well, it was just fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't even know that I think he's been doing this stuff for so long. He doesn't know that he's doing it anymore. And then he doesn't realize that he's actually in public. He probably thinks he's in his own little world. Nobody's watching. Right. There's no cameras around. He's just going to go ahead and do all this weird shit. Now, this this video, I mean, you could see she's like dreading him coming up to her, and he's got what looks like a slushie or a lemonade or something in his left hand, and he's leaning in, and she's giving him the side like, oh fuck, he just beelined it for me.
He saw her. He saw that blonde hair. Do you think?
Was it allowed to do? I can't remember not to tell you earlier.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He says, "I'm sorry.
I'm sorry." Yeah. Do you think he thought he was on Epstein Island? I'm asking for a friend. I don't know.
But then he sits up, he sits up a little bit straighter, and he looks like he doesn't know where he fucking is. Like I shouldn't be doing. They told me not to do this.
Yeah, I think he expected like she was gonna. Never mind. At least he took some sort of cue from her. I mean, it was obvious she didn't want to be, within 2 feet of him. So he kind of was like, oh, okay, I guess I should back up. Because I've seen him especially with younger girls, I've seen him press it. Like they're clearly want to get away, but he'll just lean in further.
Oh, he totally does. And he hasn't had, and they've done a really good job keeping him out of those kind of situations where he doesn't have that opportunity anymore. But that one, it's like he got off the leash a little bit. Like the handler wasn't in the right place, or maybe he didn't have the right X on the ground. Uncle Sniffy, stand here. Make sure you stay within 6 feet so that nobody can see you trying to sniff her.
You know what I think happened? I think she had on some particularly strong conditioner in her hair. It smelled really good, and he just picked it up like a fucking bloodhound. He was like,
"Oh, it very well could have been." I don't.
Where's that conditioner coming from? Oh, hi, Blondie.
Hey,
and then it was all over. And it was too late for the handlers to get there.
You know what? And Tabby, really good comment. Welcome to being a woman and having to deal with creepy old men. I'm sorry that we have individuals that can't fucking control themselves. I hope when I get older, I mean, I'm 47, about to be 48. I don't know what the line is going to be, but I'm hoping let's just say when I hit 60, I'm just the old jackass. That's all I'm shooting for. I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to be a dick. I just want to be some old fucking jackass that just says some really funny things, drinks a lot, and sits on his porch. That's all I want to do. That's what I'm shooting for. I don't want to ever devolve like this creepy fucker.
No, and I think the difference is like you can. I mean, you have a flirty waitress that comes up, and she's just naturally, charismatic, and also she knows her job well. She does it well, and she's looking for a bigger tip at the end. Like I'm gonna flirt back because that's fun. Everybody's having fun, and that's as far as that goes. This is like on a whole other level where it's clearly unwelcome. Clearly unwelcome. It's a teenage girl. She's not working for you. She doesn't know you. You've never met her before, and you're. I mean, why did he say he was sorry? Like, you know what you're doing, dude.
What are you guys talking about?
Get a fucking life. Hey, it's
Hefe.
Is this all you do on the show is talk about me while I'm not on?
Yes, well, we were talking about creepy old fuckers, so.
Yeah, your creepy exploits, dude. Stop hitting on the teen girls.
Or just stop getting caught. Can you do that?
Well, yeah, there you go. What's up, man?
I got a casino trivia question for you.
Okay, all right, shoot.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but what number on the roulette table can you win the most money on?
0.
Nope.
All right.
What number can you win the most on?
By maximizing your bets, what number pays the most more than any other number?
There's going to be a story here. Go.
Well, hold on. Well, I mean, if you think you can do red or black, you can do halvesies, you can do one column, and then you can also do the corners and the actual number. So I'm going to say black 28.
No. Give up?
Well then fuck you. I mean, why are you here? Go away.
Okay. See you guys.
I'm supposed to be right all the time. No, all right. What number? Which number?
You were right until you said 28. Black 2.
Just 8? Oh, black 2. Okay. All right. Interesting.
because you got the 0 and 00. You can split with those. You can split with
Oh,
one.
right.
Oh,
That's right. I forgot you can split on 0, 00 and
That's
still be on
racist.
2.
That's
Yeah.
racist, guys.
Get 3-way with 0 and 00. Yeah, we had one of those
Wow.
last night. I played Table Max, and I think it was 191 units you won with the quarters. So
Holy shit.
that's a nice little hit there.
Yeah, that's a nice
Nice.
payout. Good for you, sir. Wow. All right. Well, there you see, this is why we do what we do. We are an educational show, first and foremost. You always learn something here on Whiskey Hell. Thank you, Hefe.
And for the chat, I'm sure you guys know when I say quarters, I don't mean quarters. I mean $25 chips.
$25. Are those black or purple?
Those are green.
Green, right? Yeah.
Correct. That's what I meant.
You
So
tried to catch
if you combine black and purple, you know what color that makes. I mean, come on.
bright green.
Bright green.
So how's it going, Hefe?
Pretty good. Had a good night last night, and tonight's decent so far. So yeah, it's going okay.
Good. Very nice. Are you looking forward to a few weeks getting some folks in for the Phoenix Open?
And the auction, the car auction too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Barrett Jackson.
Oh, the Barrett
It's always
Jackson
an
coming
adventure.
too.
And you know what? This cold bomb, that's gonna flush a lot of the snowbirds your way.
All right.
They're gonna be
That's
like,
a damn good call.
you know what? -50? No, thank you. I'll go to +70. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was sweating.
That's
today.
cool.
I was in a t-shirt and shorts.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's you'd be fine here, dude. You'd be fine here. You guys should all move up here.
All right. Are there casinos there?
Yes, there are. There's the closest one to me is like 45 minutes away. But what's great about it is it's an epic fucking drive. I mean, it's a beautiful drive. And it's right out near the coast. So like after work, you could just, bomb out to the coast and
Hey, Aaron. Looks like Aaron got it black too. I'm guessing you said it before I gave the answer. Once
yeah,
one
it
of
looks like it. Looks like it.
Oh, nope. Tabby just ratted him out and said no, he didn't. She's keeping him on.
No,
she's keeping him honest.
No, I think Aaron's a smart guy. I think he knows like random shit like that. So I'm gonna believe him.
Hey, what are you guys talking about so far?
Oh, we've banged on Germany and the farmers, which was fun. We were just slamming Biden and his the new election advertisement that he had, and he was sniffing a young lady. That made it really weird.
Yeah, that's when you walked in.
Yeah, yep. And Fannie Willis with conspiring with the government to keep beating on Trump.
We make fun of them, and we made fun of Trump for being, you get up there and
being Trump. Yeah.
I mean, say dumb things, or you look a little senile, and the whole thing with he wears a diaper and all that, that's fine. But when you see him walk, he looks like he's literally about to keel over. I don't see how he can go 5 more years. There's no way.
No.
There's no way.
Well, I mean, you're gonna see one of two things. Here's another prediction, another Fitz prediction. You're gonna see one of two things here. One, he has to withdraw from the race for health reasons. Kind of what you're hinting at, Hefe. Or number two, they keep him in because he's got enough support from that ridiculous, idiotic base. And then as soon as he starts the presidency, he'll have to be committed somewhere or something, and whoever the vice is will step up. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
If he even wins. I mean, who knows?
Do you think this whole defense secretary disappearing for 5 days was a preemptive, let's see how everybody handles it when
Dude,
our defense secretary disappears? Like maybe that's a preemptive, what happens if the president disappears for like 5 days?
dude, that whole thing just kept getting that was one of those stories. It's like, wait, what? No one's heard from him for 2 days? And then you find out that he actually went in for surgery on the 22nd and he was absent for like 8 days. And then supposedly we heard from him. He sent out a tweet or he put out an official message. And then we didn't hear from him for another 6 or 7 days. And the president hadn't heard from him for however long. And now I'm hearing calls for his resignation. Well, I mean, I get it. I understand why, but why aren't we holding the president accountable? Like, you don't even know where your cabinet members are.
Your most fucking important cabinet member right now.
Especially, yeah, exactly. As we go to war, as we are kicking off World War III.
As we're bombing Yemen. Oh, yeah. You're not there? All right. Cool. Where is he? Where'd he go?
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, has anyone heard from that one guy that's my defense secretary? Anyone heard from him?
Guys, get your prostates checked, and prostate cancer is nothing to be like ashamed of. It really makes me sick that this story was that they framed it in such that he was shy or he was embarrassed of it. It's fucking cancer, bullshit. Dude. Just if you actually have cancer, own it. All right. I've got to do this. Put your next in charge. Make sure they're in the fucking country, because she wasn't in the country either. And then just fucking move on. People get sick. We get it. But disappearing in the middle of the job and knowing that you're gonna be going, you've got how many fucking ships in the Gulf or over in near the Red Sea? Fucking weird,
dude. It is weird. My level of responsibility is nowhere near the defense secretary's. I get it, but I've had
and you let us know when you're not going to be here, and if you can't make it, we adjust, right? But, you're up front.
Yes, and my staff have told me, like, literally way more information I need to know. Like, just let me know you're going to the doctor for some personal stuff. I don't need to know that you're literally bleeding out of your anus. But I've had staff divulge the most personal shit to me, the most embarrassing things. And you have to handle it like a fucking professional. So if you're going to run for public office, if you're going to be in the public light, be ready for some embarrassing shit. And if your health is one of those things, it shouldn't be embarrassing. It should just be like, hey, I'm having some problems. I'm going to be out for a bit. Like, do they not get sick leave? Like, at my job, I get like 3 weeks a year.
I'm positive they do. It's just they decided to not talk about, which to me is bullshit. Something else was going on.
Dumb.
Yeah, I'd wager that he disagreed with what was being done, and he didn't want to be around when we did start bombing things. So, hey, I'm going to disappear, and yeah, they're going to make up a story.
Or are you ready for tinfoil hat time? People are saying that he went in and didn't make it, so it takes time to make a new clone. So they're growing his clone right now. And then they're gonna prop up the new clone like they did with Fetterman, because that's clearly not the Fetterman that we all knew.
No,
that's a new guy,
talked
right?
About that, we haven't talked about that. He's even angry Fetterman. Yeah. He's like,
oh yeah,
he's like, I don't like Democrats. Fetterman suddenly.
Yeah, he's well spoken. I don't like Democrats. Fetterman.
Yeah, he picked up like 70 IQ points. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you, Aaron. I like new Fetterman. He's in my cool book right now. He's telling it like it is, and I'm like, oh hey, I don't know who this is, but I like him.
Hefe, how's your prostate though? Have you had it checked lately?
Not lately, but yeah, a while back.
All right. It's been a little bit for me too, but I'm glad we get it checked occasionally. We need to do that.
Can I ask you guys?
Yeah.
Sorry. Can we linger on that just for a minute?
Checking our prostates?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean... Okay, so that gets checked from the backside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've not ever had my prostate officially checked then. I always have it checked from like the outside, with, sensitive areas of another person's body.
More of
they check it for me.
Okay. Some more. Oh,
You know,
right.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Places where there are lots of nerve endings. So, but I've not actually had it checked from the inside ever.
You could have your wife do it later tonight, and then report back next week.
Yeah. Just Google it.
There's got to be a YouTube video for that, right?
Yeah. Well, you could find anything on YouTube, and
That's what I'm saying.
We had an air traffic controller tell somebody how to land a plane on a short runway, and she used Google as
Yes.
That was her legitimacy right there.
That was the Bible. So there's no reason that you can't have your wife Google how to check a prostate and then just go for it.
Well, I mean, for a reasonably intelligent and capable man, you can do a lot of shit around your house just by Googling it. And I mean, like YouTube has been a huge education for me. Building shit, doing electrical stuff, even plumbing, which I won't touch, but I'll do a little bit of plumbing now because I saw it on YouTube. So, prostate, that's like plumbing, right?
Totally. Aaron, gotta say, a copay is cheaper than a date these days.
Well, that's a good point. Oh shit. Good point.
Oh, Hefe, what are your prognostications for the weekend in football?
You see the Buffalo game got moved?
Yeah,
yes.
they had to move that.
Dangerous temperatures.
They're paying fans $20 an hour to get rid of snow in the field.
Wow.
I'm gonna head out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised they don't have some migrants up there like moving in.
For this weekend, I got just the favorites winning. I thought Cleveland was going to beat Houston, but they did not even come close. So other than that, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy? All right. I should have bet on the Houston game, and I didn't. I do have a $10 bet that's out there right now on the other 5. So
I got
to see how
I got
it
Super
goes.
Bowl Buffalo over Dallas. My prediction.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Buffalo's gonna win one?
I think so. I gotta go. I'll be back in an hour.
All right.
All right, brother. We'll see you in a
later.
bit.
All right. So where are you on that beer?
I'm about 4/5 of the way through this one. I will say it has only gotten better as it's warmed up, and and the only reason I say that is the coffee's starting to present itself a bit more. So the maple pecan is there, but I'm starting to wonder. I'm thinking my wife got this one for herself, and just
no way.
She really can't drink beer, so she's like, "Here, I want to live vicariously through you," because one of her favorite coffee flavors is maple pecan. So,
Okay.
yeah, but shit, really, really good beer. My next beer is good. This is gonna be hard to top. It really is. How about you? How's your beer?
It's one of the better sours that I've had. Truly, it is. Would I go back and get another one? This was Animal Face. It's a triple-way, a 3-way collab by Inner Voice Brewing, Two Tides, and I still can't remember the other guy that's doing it. But it's like if you took watermelon and juiced it, threw in some pineapple, and made it a beer. It just had like a little bit of a bite to it. That's what you get, and it's not bad. It's I mean, for a smoothie, I like it, especially since it's not a thick smoothie. I can't stand thick smoothies. It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, how come so this has been bothering me ever since you said that this was a triple collab. How come we don't call those threesomes? And
we call it a threesome, right? I mean, if we had like 3 podcasts on here, we'd call it a threesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a threesome, foursome, however many. And so my follow-up question to that is then, like, I feel like one of those threesomes should be the one to judge whether your ejaculate has changed at all from the flavor.
Wow.
I don't know why I feel that way. I just have a very strong feeling that should happen.
So wait a minute. So one of the brewers should check it?
Yeah. I mean, I have to assume there's somebody sexually attractive on one of those staffs. And it's for the podcast. It's for the betterment of brewing everywhere. It's not like
always have good-looking people in breweries. I mean, okay, your brewer is typically bearded, big, gnarly dude. We have a different look, but you always have beer slingers that are like strapping in one way or the other.
Men and women. Men and women.
Absolutely.
In fact, one of the female brewers at a local brewer here, Hop Valley. Good God.
Hop Valley is not. That's not even fair.
She should have probably. She missed her calling as a model. And she'll just walk out in fucking overalls and covered in yeast, and you're like, my God, you're the hottest girl I've ever seen in my life. And she's like the most down to earth. Like she's like, well, from making beer.
I can go. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
It's not like an infection or something. Jesus, man. Anyway, and she's like the most down to earth. She'll talk to anybody. And all the dudes are drooling and all the women are like, fuck you. I want to be you. But she's like the coolest. She's so cool. So yeah, you got attractive people in, from both sexes or all three or four. How many are we up to now? I don't know. From
sexes?
I mean, you just have attractive people in the
like
brewery
96,
industry. I'll just say that.
I think there's like 96 different sexes. Yeah.
I can't keep track. I feel so old, but I just can't keep track.
Yeah. Should we go to beer too?
Oh, it's definitely.
All right, beer two. Hey, well, let's do beer two, but I want to ask you something about Mos Def. Do you the rapper?
Oh yeah, one of my favorites.
One of the best ever. Did you hear what he said about Drake?
Yeah. No.
Oh, this is gonna be impromptu. We're gonna get into it in a minute.
But on that same line, have you listened to the whole Cat Williams interview?
No. Maybe this prompted that.
Oh God. Cat Williams called out fucking everyone.
So let's bring that up next week. Let's do the whole. Let's get into the Cat Williams, because there's a number of things that he got into, and some of it I didn't know where he was coming from.
Yeah.
So we'll shelve that, and we'll shelve the Mos Def thing too.
Okay. I mean, it's worth listening to the whole thing, and then let's hit it. Let's go through it, because I kind of feel like these people, back to our earlier, theme of the show, like people are just done putting up with the bullshit and just being quiet because that's what you do, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And
it's good for
so
your
now
career.
it's like, yeah. So now it's like, fuck you. I've got enough money. I've got fuck you money. So now I can just say what I need to say, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's been really interesting. I mean, for instance, well, we'll get into it, but he called out Ludacris, and Ludacris's response to it was very odd, very strange. So yeah, I love this shit, because I feel like all the dirty laundry in Hollywood, in the music industry, in whatever, public facing industry you want to talk about, it's all being aired out, and it's in our faces, and I fucking love it.
Well, maybe that's how you iron shit out, right? Maybe this is how things correct. The pendulum's got to swing back.
It does. Yes.
All right. So let's plan on it. We got to remember to go ahead and get into the Cat Williams interview. We'll
all right.
get
Oh, I won't forget, because I listened to the whole thing, and the dude showed up to play. I mean, yes,
and that
he was
with
drinking.
Shannon Sharp, right?
Correct. And Shannon Sharp basically just sat down, pushed play, and just sat back and just let him go. I mean, it was he maybe got in 100 words in 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Let's plan on that. I'll make sure I go back and listen to it, and I'll find the video. Shannon Sharp's an interesting cat.
Right?
Surprisingly, yeah. And
surprising, because I feel like
I loved him as a football player, but as a talking head, Not too shabby.
No, I feel like he was an intellectual that got trapped in this like perfect athlete's body.
Adonis athlete
And
body.
yeah, and I don't just mean perfect. I mean like he's what 6'5", 270, and it's all muscle. I mean, dude. I mean, how could you not play athletics and make that kind of money? But then he gets to the end of his career and he's like, okay, well now I'm free to just talk and to talk to people that I admire and want to talk to. Kind of like Joe Rogan, like I'm going to talk to people I like and ask questions I want to know. And maybe other people will want to listen to this. And it's amazing when you just do that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, let's get into the beer twos. So good little setup for next week. We're gonna get into the Cat Williams interview, and I haven't heard anybody else do it, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Into that. I have a Resident Culture beer, and this is a Resident Culture Brewing Company. We've had them on there from before, and always interesting art. Very good beers. The beers are always solid, very very solid. But their artwork always looks like a 6-year-old scribbled on the can. A talented 6-year-old, don't get me wrong, but it's always a 6-year-old.
Yeah. No, it looks like oh shit. Why can't I remember his name? Spanish guy with the fucking melting clocks. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Kind of cubist, but
starts
like at
with
the end of
G or something, I think.
End of the cubist. I'll find it. But anyway, yes, I like their artwork too. Their beer pulls are always really cool too. They always look great.
Yeah. So I have Tiny Ego Stout. It's a 6%er, and it is just a stout. This isn't a. Well, okay. So their words, scaled down version of our Ego Death Stout with toasted hazelnuts and cocoa nibs. It's a basic stout. There's not a whole lot to it. Pours black. It is not a lot of head. Cold smell. Not a lot of nose to it. If anything, the nose is dirty. You know what I mean? It just kind of has that dirt kind of a.
Oh yeah. And sometimes those are kind of your hidden gems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a light stout. It has the hazelnut is a sweet hazelnut. It does come through really clear, and it's not an extract hazelnut taste either. This is legit stout.
Sounds delicious.
That is a really, really good stout. That's a good winter beer. And at 6%, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy one.
So Salvador Dali is what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
With the kind of fucked up faces. But Picasso also did some cubist stuff like that too. So take your pick. I mean, they're both Spanish. They're both famous. I don't get either of their artwork. When I say I don't get it, I don't understand why they're worth, tens of millions of dollars. But again, I'm a dipshit podcaster, so what do I know about anything? But I just, I'd much rather see some Degas or something. I mean, I'm much more into realism, so that's just me. Anyway. That's what their artwork reminds me of.
I forgot to tell you, and this can be something we can get into later, maybe. I picked up two other pieces of artwork a couple weeks ago. I forgot to tell you about it, but it. I would be interested to see what everybody's impression is of it. Yeah, I'll take pictures of it and I'll post it.
I fucking loved it. I see. To me, what you bought, what you purchased.
Yeah.
That to me is the epitome of art, because you take two disparate ideas,
right,
and you make them come together and blend into a beautiful piece of art. To me, that's what an artist should do. And maybe that's what Picasso and Dali did. I just don't. I mean, I didn't live in their time. I don't know what ideas they were trying to express. I just don't get it. I mean, same with Pablo alcoholic. I mean, it's just paint being splattered on a canvas. I'm not being disparaging. I'm just saying that's what it looks like to me.
So the thing that I found, because I've never been an art lover at all, I'm not. I think I am now. I think I'm starting to get into it. I'm starting to that maybe that's something I haven't, a piece of me that I didn't understand. Okay. But each of these pieces that I purchased, and I'll post pictures of them and I'll put them into the insiders chat. So if you guys are listening, go to the Patreon, join us, get in the chat. Each of these pieces were like, that means something to me. I mean, I got it. I'm like, this, I felt something. There was something there.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So I'll post that, and I don't know, weird sidetrack on art. I don't normally.
No, I mean, I
get into
think
that stuff, but
everything's fair game on this podcast, and you know, I've shared with you my rule that my wife and I have, that if you see a piece of art that you like, if you can get it, get it. I mean, if you can afford to buy it, you just do it. Don't debate, because chances are you'll never see it again, and you'll always be wondering and wanting that particular piece of art. I've been getting into photography lately. Nice. And I don't know why. I don't know anyone that's a photographer. You know the artist that my mom is. She doesn't do photography, but she does her own amazing style of art.
Very talented. I
Yeah,
love her
very.
stuff.
But I've been getting into photography. So like Ansel Adams kind of stuff, like just really stark nature pictures for whatever reason. So, I mean, if it speaks to you and you can afford to buy it, buy it. Don't even, because you will never regret it. But I'll tell you what, you will regret it if you don't buy it.
Nice. Okay. I'm fully on board.
Well, my beer, I went, I mean, you know, we have our picks that are like out there, and you know, we spent $30 on the beer, and it's like, oh shit, this is gonna be special. This is not that. I went with a Rogue Brewing. They're a big outfit out here in Oregon. They're probably our best
old school too.
Yeah, old school, and our best like big brewery here. They haven't sold out, but they're pretty big. And they have their Dead Guy Ale, which is kind of it's actually based on a German like Dunkel. But then they started branching out and doing different stuff with their Dead Guy casks. So they have a Dead Guy whiskey that they actually let sit in the beer casks for a while as it's fermenting. And then they use those casks for another special one-off where they brew Dead Guy again back in the whiskey barrels. So they're doing all kinds of just kind of creative stuff, seeing what they can do. But this is an Imperial IPA. It's the Dead Guy Imperial IPA that they let sit in the Dead Guy barrels. So
right off the bat, there it is.
Right on the cover of the website. Yeah, beautiful red can with the Dead Guy.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
Nope, not at all. Just a easy artwork design, nice, beautiful red can, 9.6%er. And I figured since I had a kind of a Swedish beer for my first one, I'd go with something a little bit more abrasive, and also really showcasing one thing Rogue does really well. And you mentioned old school. Rogue, it really tries to honor the art of beer making. Like they want pure ingredients. They want the pure brewing process. They use modern equipment, but they don't do it in a way that's, you know, using modern technology to make it different. They just want to do the old style stuff, which I really respect about them. You know, anybody from Rogue that you talk to is like from that old school. Like if they could brew beer in their basement, they would, and probably they all do, and that's where they come up with their recipes. But anyway, so I have not. This is fairly new. This Imperial IPA is fairly new. I've not had it before, so I am looking forward to having this. I think it's going to be a stark contrast to my first beer. I don't believe it's going to be a sex beer, but you never know. So here we go.
Yeah, usually it's like a forced sex beer if it's going to be a double IPA or Imperial.
Ooh.
Yep, there it is.
Okay.
Now that's a West
Okay.
Coast, right? That's a West Coast,
Yes.
isn't it? Uh-huh.
The West Coast, I will say it's a smoothed out West Coast.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
a little bit of pine, little bit of grapefruit, and then just that undercurrent of maybe some like lemon rind or
Okay.
lime rind, the peel in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not overwhelming, but just enough to like, give you a little like check in the balls, like, hey, we're still having sex here. You need to wake up. Not that I would ever fall asleep having sex, but if you do, a really good trick is to smack the balls a little bit. Wakes you right up. So that's what this is.
Are you smacking the balls, or is she smacking
No,
the
she
balls?
does. Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, don't you go limp on me. I'm close or whatever. I'm not speaking from
Get back
experience.
in there. Yep.
Yeah. Come on, Chief.
Was that
So,
colossal
yeah, so I
quad,
guess-
or was it what was the name of it though? I mean,
No, it was just that first one, just the Imperial IPA, that first one that
Okay.
was on the cover of or
Damn,
on the front
I-
page.
See, that drives
Yeah,
me
where did that
nuts.
go?
So they've got it on the front page, but they don't have.
There it
They
is.
don't, but they
That-
don't
that one.
have it anywhere for you to look up. That's frustrating. So I was really, really happy that they've actually kept their beers really solid.
They have.
They started branching into a whole lot of other areas. So I think they've even done some sparkling stuff. They've definitely got into spirits, even dealing with CBD and sodas. So
Yeah.
I was really happy that they didn't go so far off the chain that they didn't. They're still making really good beers, and I'll take a Dead Guy Ale anytime. I love that.
Oh,
beer.
yeah.
It's a great beer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's a unique buzz, that beer. Everybody says that. Like it's like a 6.7 or something, 6.9 maybe. So it's not super heavy, but you have two of those and you have this weird sort of, it's not a high buzz, it's a really low vibration buzz, but it buzzes everybody after two beers. I don't care what kind of drinker you are. It'll get you.
Yeah, there's
just
something to it.
Yeah, it's a special beer, but yeah, no, this is going to be good. I have a feeling as it warms up, I'm going to get some more complexity to it because there's a lot going on here. There really is. It's not just a straight up IPA, smack you in the face and see you in the morning. It's got a little, like I said, it's got a little ball play to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you got to pay attention to the balls. You do. That's an imperative thing.
Yep.
You know what else you got to pay attention to, Fitz?
What's that?
Tunnels in Brooklyn.
Jesus Christ, was this fucking weird or what?
Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Numerous law enforcement mature. What? See, I don't spell everything really great, but if I'm writing something, I try to go back and double check it. If you're putting out news, at least use words that make sense that they're words.
Aaron, you are so right. Nobody had
Tunnel of Jews
tunnel
was
Jews
not on their
sex-
bingo cards.
sex tunnel Jews. My God, what the fuck? Yeah, I think that's supposed to say enforcements are, but it all
I
became
don't
one
know.
word.
I don't know. It's raw alerts. The guy's either writing poorly or he's stealing people's videos. That's what the guy does. Frustrating. Anyway, so a riot breaks out at this synagogue, iconic synagogue in a Jewish community.
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah. Old one. Old.
Yeah, it's like really old. This is like it's the real deal. And you have a tunnel that somebody for the city of New York showed up and they were going to concrete this thing in. And all of a sudden police are called and you've got a tunnel that these Jewish students are hanging out in. And nobody can figure out what the fuck is going on here. It's the most bizarre thing to look at.
Like not just like you've got a yarmulke on. We're talking about like Hasidic Jews. Like they're all in black suits. They got the braids coming down, the long beards. These are like old school, old fashioned Jews. And then what was really crazy is when they wouldn't let them concrete it in, and then they got cameras down in the tunnels. Holy shit. There were side rooms
Some
with
weird stuff going on.
with some stained mattresses and
Kids'
no
high
proof of
chairs.
anything. Yes, high chairs, and you start putting two and two together, and it's adding up to 4, and it's crazy.
So here's the
Crazy.
story per the New York Post. 6 renegade members of the Chabad Lubavitch Hasidic movement secretly began digging the 3-foot-high, 20-foot-wide, 50-foot-long tunnel themselves using crude instruments in their hands. So you remember Shawshank Redemption?
I do.
Okay,
They did
so
it
these...
with rock hammers.
Yeah, and spoons and stuff, right? Or trowels or
Right,
whatever. I
right.
mean, I'm assuming they also maybe went as far as to get trowels, but then they took the dirt and they stuck it in their pants, their pockets. Then they went outside and walked around and they dropped it outside, just like our boys in Shawshank, right?
Yep.
Well, these guys decide to hire migrants and even went as far as putting them up in an abandoned building and fed them for 3 weeks so that they would be the ones who were digging out this tunnel. They're these acidic teenagers. Okay, they're going to school there, and they hired these migrants to finish the tunnel. Now, you've got this that happens right after the Epstein stuff. And we already talked about Epstein having ties to Mossad. Now, you've got in the tunnels, like you already said, we've got weirdly stained mattresses, kids' high chairs, and kids' toys. What a fucking awful look. This was disturbing.
I don't know where to go with it, because you almost want to you almost want to just leave this article just out there to hang and let people sort of make up their own minds about it, because I don't care how you slice this. It doesn't look good for this particular synagogue, but then also, I mean, what else is going on out there? I mean, we've known about the Catholic Church for decades.
Correct.
All of the sex scandals that have been coming out from them.
And there are extreme pieces of every religion. Right. We know this.
Of every, right. But it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, is it every synagogue? Is it every rabbi? And of course not. It wasn't every Catholic priest, but
no.
But every single Catholic had to look at their priest, at their bishop, and go, well, why was, priest so and so moved from our parish unexpectedly 5 years ago? Why did he leave? No one ever told us why he left. I mean, you start asking these questions, right? You have to ask, especially if you have children at home. And times 10 if you have a child who went missing at some point and you don't know where they are, because that's another thing that happened in the Catholic Church, is that there was these sex allegations, but then these people came forward and they were like, hey, my child's been missing for 15 years. Last time we saw him was at, so-and-so church. Jesus Christ. And now we've got the Jewish community involved. I again, going back to my previous statement, the truth is coming out, whether you like it or not. And it's hard to face, but we're here to face it, because to pretend it's not happening would be just as bad as letting it happen. We have to face up to it. We have to confront it. And if there's evil in our communities, in our churches, in our streets, in our neighbors, in our neighborhoods, then we need to weed it out, call it out, and get it purged, because we can't keep going like this. Too many lives, too many healthy, happy lives are at stake.
So these teenagers were actually a sect of yeshiva, which is a very idealistic and very extreme views on the Jewish religion. They were actually on visas from Savad, a holy city in Israel. It's considered a birthplace of the Kabbalah, or Jewish mysticism. Okay.
Yeah.
So
isn't that what Madonna's into? I'm pretty sure she got into that. Yeah.
She might be. She
was.
might have been. That might have been her gig. She was into something like
Yeah.
that. So they came over from Israel and they were here on visas that were actually sponsored by the Chabad rabbis that ran this particular synagogue. So they're no longer they're going to have their sponsorships pulled for this, and obviously they're going to jail. But yeah, just very, very strange timing, very strange happening. It's a terrible look. Just like you said, I mean, leaving it hang is probably the perfect way to go, but it's something that we had to bring up because it's just nuts.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the only silver lining here is that they did enter the country legally.
They did.
I mean,
they did.
They're here on visas. So at least they did that part right.
That's true.
And then they started doing stuff to kids. So here we are.
Do we bang on NYC too much, New York?
Well, how could you not? They're such a fucking train wreck. That whole city's a dumpster fire, and we can't help but smell it and watch it and see it.
And hope to God it doesn't happen where we are.
Right. It's like a an example of what you don't want in your city.
Here's Fox News.
Out of space, out of ideas. Now, Mayor Eric Adams is outnumbered if he thinks this will fly. Growing outrage from parents, lawmakers, people all over angry after the New York City shut down a high school to house hundreds of illegal immigrants during a rainstorm this week. Students were forced to cancel in-person activities on Tuesday and take classes remotely. After everything we learned about remote learning and learning loss and everything else, this is their reflexive fix? It was short, but now we know they'll do it. Here's one Democratic assemblyman whose kid is also a student at that school.
Disruptive to our students. It's not fair to our parents. You have the migrants being placed over our own children and our community.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson with some tough words for President Biden and the city's Democratic Mayor Eric Adams over the issue, accusing them of abdication of duty. The headlines are brutal. New York City prioritizes illegal immigrants over school children. Democrats no longer value schooling for children. And this, shameful treatment of New York City students as migrants needs come first.
Very simple. They went ahead and they kicked our kids out, stuck them at remote learning on the fly, which we know that that's going to be a lost week or 2 weeks or however long it actually ends up having to be, and put migrants over everybody else. It's negligent. It's abusive. And I don't know how a principal has the ability to make that call unless she's thinking that she's got a city office or a state office that she's going to be getting soon. That's the only way that can happen.
I mean, in some ways, I almost see like the principal of a high school, their role is, in some ways paramount in the community. Because if you have a shitty principal and you're not making a fun and interesting place for these teens to go, then that's going to put a load on, the police, on the homeless population and everybody that cares for them, mental illness, it puts a load on the entire community in a way that other school principals wouldn't. Right. If you have an elementary child that's not wanting to go to school, you can just keep them at home and the parents can control them. But you get a 16-year-old who doesn't want to go to school, or is not allowed to go to school now. Like maybe they were just right on that bubble, and now the school's shut down for 2 weeks, and that's all the excuse they needed to not fucking go. I'm deeply saddened by this story, and I'm not saying those words just to sound dramatic. This made me sad because you have a political movement that is saying that all these migrants get to come into the country, and we all know the numbers. They get the gift card, they get the cell phone, they're being allowed to be police officers, they're allowed to own weapons now, they're allowed to vote in some communities with no proof of citizenship. We all know what's going on out there, but the border states are saying it's not okay with us, so they ship them off to these sanctuary cities. Hey, we're going to take everybody and anyone who wants to come. And now it gets to the point where it's affecting our own citizens and our own citizens' children, particularly the most vulnerable age, teenagers. This is such an affront to what the American story, the American theme should be. And what's shocking to me is that, yes, you and I are out here talking about it. Other people are talking about it, but not enough people are shocked by it. It just seemed like the story came out and everyone was like, well, yeah, but where else are you going to put these people? Like, I don't care. Fucking anywhere else. Find more hotels. Find more community centers. Put them in Central Park.
Gym.
I don't know. Yeah.
Put them in a Coliseum someplace.
To have your
so many other places you could have done that.
Yeah. To have your high school kids. And as you said, losing time, there were some studies that said for every day that a child wasn't in school, they actually lost 3 days of learning because yeah, you had them online for 6 hours, but they were only paying attention for about 2 of those hours.
If that.
And the rest of that time they were fucking off. So you're tripling every day they're not in school. You're tripling the ramifications to that. And listen, you only get 182 days of school every year anyway. That's what's mandated. So now you've just cut that by a third or by 2/3, and you're only getting a third of that time. Jesus Christ. What are we doing? Do we care about our kids and their future? I mean, we have I've said it before, but we have a huge cross to bear, and it just seems to be getting bigger and longer with more nails. I don't know where we think we're going with all this.
How dare someone say that I don't care about the kids, roared James Madison High School Principal Jody Cohen on a Zoom call Tuesday at parents seething that she sold the kids out by having them go remote on the day after the migrants were evacuated from Floyd Bennett Field because of a torrential rainstorm. I don't understand how people who never come on a Zoom like this could take an opportunity like this evening to throw mud, Cohen said, her voice breaking. The emergency is for one night. We repeatedly say it's just for one night. It's only one small issue. It's just let's just go ahead and make do.
It's just the tip.
Until your kids can't recover from that, it's disruptive. Your whole fucking job is to protect the kids. So yeah, you're wrong. And Mayor Adams is wrong for allowing you to have to put you in a place to do that. Let's not forget that. Those were his responsibility. He could have put them anywhere else.
Yep. Could you imagine that the national hero that this principal would have been if she just stood up and said, no, my kids come first. Fuck off. Yeah. Fuck off with your migrants. Find somewhere else. I will stand in front of these school halls in front of the doors and only let my students in and not your migrants. Imagine the hero she would be. We would be having a much different conversation right now.
And it's not the migrants. It's not the migrants. It's making them pawns. Right? Yeah. It's making them political footballs. That's what it fucking comes down to. So that's why I can't let her off the hook, because she's got her eyes on something else and it backfired. Can we go to Texas too?
Let's write her name down on the list of people to follow, because I'm with you, dude. I think in 2 years, in 4 years, and in 5, she's gonna be she's going to be running for some other public office. And she'll get it because she'll recall. She'll have us all recall this time. Remember?
Right.
Remember when I did the right thing for those migrant families? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Jody Cohen.
So-
we got her. She's in
Okay.
the book.
All right. Excellent.
Hats off to Texas, but wow, I did not see them kicking out the Border Patrol. This was pretty huge.
Yeah.
This was pretty big.
Yes. They took control of Eagle Pass.
Yep.
Back from they took control from the federal government. We joke. Listen, we joke about Texas all the time. And I've spent a lot of time in Texas. I have a lot of friends in Texas. I love Texas.
I had a lot of exes in Texas. No, I'm just
Hey-o.
kidding. Sorry.
No,
It's
that's
song.
a great song. Great song. But at the end of the day, say what you want about the people of Texas, but they are true to themselves. They know who they are, and they do not waver on who they want to be 5 days, 5 years from now. And this was one of those times where they were like, you know what? Not today, Satan. We're kicking the federal government out of here. We're taking control of our border. Fuck off. And I love it. I love every bit of it. I don't ever want to live in Texas. Well, that's not true. Maybe someday I would, but
I'm not ruling it out.
no, but I mean, at least they're standing up for their own people, their own borders, their own sovereign state. Good for them.
The Texas Military Department confirms the Texas National Guard has seized control of Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, city property where mass illegal crossings are. This is from Bill Milling, and I think he's from Fox News, and is restricting Border Patrol from accessing the area, saying the feds perpetuate illegal crossings. This is the area where Border Patrol has been cutting Texas razor wire. The razor wire and fences are now deployed to block area off from the public and federal government. And you can see that we've got video of it, and they've locked it down. There's pictures and video of National Guard saying thanks, but you need to get your black SUVs out of here. We're good. We got it handled. Move along.
Yeah.
The feds are taking it to the Supreme Court. They're going to try and get an injunction, and it's going to be really interesting. But what I'm most interested in is that, does the Supreme Court stick with the state sovereignty?
Well, that's the
mantra
big
that they've been
question,
pushing?
isn't it?
That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, yeah, right. It is a state sovereignty issue. And remember, if you're going by the actual definition of a state, I mean, see, we live in the United States of America, and we just think about, like, I live in the state of Oregon. If I want to go to Washington, I just drive north to Washington and keep driving. But like, if you go to Europe, France is considered a state, but it's also its own country.
Right. They're trying to make their own United States. They're trying to make their own United States with the European
Union. The
EU
was an attempt at that, right? But a state should be its own sovereign thing. The only thing that's holding us all together is the fact that we find mutual benefit in our relationship. But at any point, and let's not forget, Texas did attempt to secede at one point. That's has always been on the table for Texas. They will cut bait and run whenever the fuck they need to, only because if they're not seeing any benefit from being part of the U.S., we were talking earlier about that, they have their own power grid. That might actually work to their advantage in something like that. Like, they could literally just cut bait and they would still have power. But I like that there are decisions being made that require the use of force, and that use of force is showing up. And I guess what I mean by that is, you put federal ICE agents or Border Patrol agents up against the National Guard. I'm going to tell you right now, Hefe's a betting man. You're a betting man. I'm going to put everything I own on the National Guard.
Especially
they will
in
fucking
Texas.
rock your world. Yeah, exactly. They know what the fuck they're doing with the weapons in their hands.
In fact, I kind of like the odds of Middle America's National Guards. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Agreed. We have a very solid National Guard up here in Oregon because who are you recruiting from? You're recruiting from these fucking hunters that know these forests and these lands. They've been hunting since they were, 1.5. Oh, you can walk? We're going hunting, son. And so, yeah, I like that it's like the bluff was, well, they won't use force. Well, here's force. I'm showing up with my fucking Humvee, my fatigues, and my weapon. And you need to leave. So take it up at the courts because I'm here to reinforce what my governor told me to do. And I kind of, not only do I respect it, I like it. I think more of this should be happening.
Can I pivot to France real quick? Because I want to tie that in.
Sure.
I want to tie their new immigration rules.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't on the doc, so we're going off-roading here. So just hang with me for a second. Now, we did report, I think it was a week. I think it was last week or the week before, and it might have just been something we retweeted, one of the two. The French government has recently introduced a new immigration bill that aims to make significant changes to the country's immigration system. Now, the French Prime Minister, Elizabeth Borne, resigned. Okay?
Right.
And one of the reasons why she did was because this bill, there's a lot of tension over it. One of the most controversial aspects of the bill is the proposal to introduce quotas on the number of immigrants allowed in the country. This measure has been criticized by some as being too restrictive and potentially harmful to the economy. Who has a problem with that? The WEF.
Right.
They've also got there's rules on what the time, how long they can be there. They have to, before they can get citizenship, they have to have a job, I think, for 24 months. I don't think there is a come in, have a kid, get citizenship. I don't think that's a possibility anymore. I think all those things have been pulled back. So while we've bagged on Marcone a great deal, they're starting to handle their shit.
Well, they kind of had to because it was getting violent. There were too many immigrants, and again, going back to I don't think can we just talk about quickly how big Texas is? Texas, if you pick up the state of Texas and put it on Europe, it basically covers most of Western Europe. Ireland escapes, and like way eastern Norway, Sweden, northern, but everything else is covered by one of our states. And I know it's the second biggest state behind Alaska, but still, we have states that are bigger than most countries, and our economies. I mean, you talk about California's economy, 5th largest in the world. So yeah, there you go. Look at that. Huge. And so I think you've got a place like France, and they have this huge influx of people, and it's probably not even half of what Texas is experiencing. I mean, what are we talking about? Some 20 million people have come across the border in the last 2 years. I mean, some astronomical number. So you have all these people coming into France, and the French, I mean, they're tolerant, but they are extremely xenophobic. I mean, if you are not going to come into France and be part of French culture, they don't like you. They're very xenophobic that way. And I think they're finally at a point where they've had enough. Like the rest of us, enough is enough. You're letting these people in. They're doing violent acts. They're not contributing to society in any sort of positive way. What the fuck are they doing here? Let's get them out. Let's pass some bills. Let's pass some laws that gets them out, or at least limits their numbers coming in. Damage to the economy? How about damage to society? And then there will be no economy. Let's dot the I's, cross the T's. How about that?
It's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
And stop using it as a fucking political football.
Yeah.
I've been adamant before. I'm just waiting for them to just here's the right to vote. All 20 million of you. Go knock yourself out. Just make sure you vote blue.
Wow. I mean, there's enough states out there that don't require any proof of citizenship before you can vote. So, I mean, that's pretty much letting them vote. I know that's not in every state and in every community, but it's growing, which is frightening.
Hey, are you going to get this new device that lets you, instead of having to swipe your phone, you can actually lick it and move the screen around? Because NBC
Okay.
wants you to get that. It's called the mouth pad.
Okay. Well, I do want to talk about this weird thing that's happening to me personally. And it relates to this story, but please let's talk about this first.
CES was this week. Biggest. I really hope someday we get big enough that we can go and get like free tickets to go to CES, because that would be absolutely.
We
bitchin'.
tried. We
did try. We did try.
They didn't let us in, but
no,
yeah,
I think
agree.
I'm going to make a
I hope
concerted effort to finagle my way in there next year with you guys. Yeah, last year we tried to do it too, but we had to settle for the AVNs, the adult video,
which was still pretty fucking stud. But yeah, the CES would be just because we could get the inside scoop on some really cool shit, and also just, I mean, all the drunk idiots. Imagine the amazing reporting we could do from there. It'd be so great.
Absolutely. Touchscreens are going hands-free with a new device that allows users to scroll through smartphones using only their tongues. MouthPad, a retainer-like trackpad chip that sits on the roof of the mouth, made its debut at the Consumer Electronics Show this week. It can sense tongue movements, allowing users to scroll, type, make calls, and even play chess with a swipe or a click of their tongue. So it's a Bluetooth device that sits in the top of your mouth, and you just use your tongue to move wherever you want to go on the screen.
Well, I mean, in some ways, it's a brilliant design. I mean, the tongue has more nerve endings on it than just about anywhere else on the body, other than the fingertips and the of course the genitalia. And even that, the genitalia don't have pressure sensors and things like that. They just have a lot of nerve endings. But the fingertips and the tongue, they have those pressure sensors and are really quite dexterous. So in that way, it's an amazing design. But I mean, I guess, so let me tell you what's been going on with me, and then I'll come back to this story. So I got my new iPhone, whatever number it is. I don't know. I guess I can look it up here.
I think we're on 15. 16? 15. I think we're on 15.
Yeah, I think this is a 15. Because my 12 started to die on me. I couldn't charge it. The charging, so I could only wirelessly charge it, which is stupid. So, yeah, okay. Oh no, so this one's this is a 14 Pro Max. All right, but it has the 5G capability. So my routine in the mornings, and I don't want to give away too much about my life or whatever, but I wake up every morning. I have to be up by 6. Most mornings I'm up by 5:30, and then I have my shit. I'm gonna sound like Joe Rogan here, but I have my AG1 every morning, which I fucking love, which has made a huge difference in my health. If you're not taking a solid multivitamin, or you're not getting any positive effects from it, check out AG1. I'm just saying. And I have a protein shake, and then if the day is working out for me, then I work out. If it's not working out for me, then I just sort of hang out, and I look through X, I look through YouTube, I just check all my normal sources. Well, I've been getting this weird, and I finally figured out it's a radiation rash in between my fingers from my phone, from holding it and scrolling.
Really?
And I did not have it before I got this phone, and before this phone was capable of 5G. I think I need a new case. I don't think my case is holding in enough of the exit radiation, but I got this really weird rash on my fingers. I didn't know where it was coming from. It itches like hell. I have to put a steroid cream on it to get it to go away. And then I just started doing experiments. I'm like, well, let me try and change this. Let me try and change that. Well, the one thing that has helped it is if I'm scrolling, I just set the phone on my leg and just scroll with one finger. and I haven't had any rashes since. So it was the way I was holding my phone and the radiation coming out of it. So fast forward, do you really want this device that's reading at a 5G level? Receiving and sending that level of messaging, of radiation, of energy going through your skull to get to it. I mean, there's no fucking way. I don't want anything more than what I have in this phone. It kind of shook me up a little bit because, I'm a fairly healthy person. I'm sure there's things I could be doing better, but for me to have this weird, and it was in between my pinky and ring finger and middle finger on both hands. And that's right where I hold my phone and I scroll with my thumbs and I type with my thumbs. And so I kind of looked it up and people were like, yeah, I've had the same thing. And I think it's because of the radiation coming out of the 5G phone. I'm like,
sounds
holy
like you
shit.
need to sue the fuck out of Apple.
Well,
this is your payday.
maybe we just funded Whiskey Hell for the next 10 years. Anyway, it's a real phenomenon. It's out there, and it's something to be aware of. And I'm not putting shit in my head. I know Elon is working on Neuralink, and we're getting to this point of like becoming cyborgs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you have just as much technology in your body as outside of your body.
Right.
I get that. I'm not ready for that. And I might not ever be, because I think the ramifications to both my physical body and my social well-being is not going to be good for me personally. Crazy shit.
That is fascinating. I had no idea that you were having to deal with that, but nice job, like getting to the bottom of it though. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that just shows,
I was just starting to eliminate shit. Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show our bodies are lightning rods for the environment that's around us. They really are. And this stuff isn't natural, no matter how long, we want to say that, how we've evolved over, thousands and thousands of years. But when it comes down to it, that we don't know what the long-term ramifications of using something that's 5G is. We don't know what Bluetooth is actually going to do over time.
Never been exposed to this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird Interesting. Shit. Very, very good. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Hefe who's coming on now. And I can't wait to ask Hefe, have you tongued your phone? Or if you haven't, would you use a device that allows you to tongue your phone and move it without having to use your hands?
I can't think of the last time that would have come in handy.
So let me throw this out there, though. So you put your phone up, and then you're using your tongue to scroll through porn, and then you're using both hands on your member. Would you do it then?
No, I don't use both hands. I did that once, and it bruised. True story.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Cafe reporting.
That was in Tucson.
Oh,
that was in Tucson?
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, if you're gonna bruise yourself, I mean, Tucson's the place to do it.
True.
Okay, now I have to ask this follow-up question: were we there?
You were there. I'm pretty sure you were there.
That's what I thought.
Shower.
That's what I thought. No, yes, I remember this incident. I remember now. I wasn't in the shower, but I remember you saying something.
I bruised my dick in the shower, Fitz. Was that how it came out?
So basically, I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean,
but yeah, so no, I will never do that again, and therefore I don't need the tongue phone thing. Thank you very much. Besides, it's kind of gross.
All right.
Well, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, you have this device that you put up in your mouth, and that was the other thing. What is this doing to your? It's firing these signals through your skull. What's it doing to your teeth? To your nerves, to
your brain.
I mean, to your brain,
everything.
There's like some really important shit that's up in your head. And I'm not sure why we think this is okay.
Somebody really worked hard on this product, and they're really proud.
Yeah,
of it.
they did.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see? Speaking of the Consumer Electronics Show, did you see the guy who like literally, with like shit he found around his house and a Home Depot, he built this machine that makes pure H2O, pure water, out of the air. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, he was at the CES this year, and he invented it all by himself. And people were like, "Oh, it's bullshit." And he's like, "Oh, well, here's the list of all the shit I used. And here, let me show you how it works." And he turns it on, and it just like this constant drip of water, of pure water. And if you run it 24/7, it's enough water for 2 people per day. And so the argument is like, why are we not doing this then? I mean, if we're so worried about our fresh water supply and, California is recycling shit water, why aren't we doing this? Anyway, so that was one of the cool things that came out of CES this year. I'll have to find that news clip that I found, so you guys can see it. But it's worth watching.
I wish I had that kind of time to come up with something like that.
I think you just need to do it from your car when you're driving around.
Oh, you know what? Today I just sat at home all day. It was really weird.
What did you do?
I played a video game and I watched a little bit of the football game. And I don't know, like back in the day when we were at the Hubble House, we'd watch. I mean, every Sunday we'd just sit there in front of the TV. Yep. We had that game we invented with the commercials. We played that, and just, I mean, that was it. The girlfriend's sorry, it's Sunday, and now I'm like, I like watched like 10 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I mean, this is great, but I'm gonna do something else. It's just really weird.
Yeah,
well, I agree. You.
I mean, it was a weird day for me too because we got iced in. I mean, like literally, I took my dog out and the fucking door was iced shut. I had to kick it open. And so it was just a weird day. But like, I'm like, what do we do? Like, we watched a Marvel movie and then we're like, well, I guess we could watch the next one, but I've already seen it. I don't really care. And then I played like one of my video games for a little bit, and I'm like, I don't really care about that. And I took a nap. It was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, everything sucks. I could not wait for the show tonight.
Did you kick the door open like Van Damme style?
Nice.
No, dude. I'm almost 49, so no.
Jesus.
No, he's like 78. And he still does that shit.
I don't fucking care. That's Van Damme, dude.
You don't have to double fucking. No, cut the double fucking stuff. I don't like that.
What do you guys want to do for your 50th?
I was thinking about that. We should plan something. Yeah, I'm gonna be first on that list, and I don't fucking like it. Fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck this.
Are we doing three somethings? Are we? I mean, I guess we have to, because we're not gonna.
Well, you guys celebrate. So you guys are first. I mean, you guys can split the difference and do something in the summer, but
I don't know.
I'm behind you guys, so
I guess it'd be.
I mean, I personally, I think it's an excuse for us to do it 3 times.
Yeah,
like,
I like that. I like
if
that.
there's like 3 things we want to do, like let's do all 3.
We don't want to celebrate Fitz's birthday in July.
No. So March, September, and then we'll get me whenever the hell that comes. I think I'm still like a year.
The following, the following January, right? Yeah.
So,
although I'm doing that retro aging thing, so I guess we'll have to do mine.
Oh shit! Well then, you know what? Then we get to do it every year.
I just turned 42 back in September, so it's a pretty sweet deal.
That's neat.
Cheer.
That's neat. When do you turn 35?
In 2 years, we get to celebrate your 40th again.
Yeah, I'll turn 35 in 2030. Wait, Oh man, math.
2031?
I did the retro thing when I was 45, turning 46, and I decided to go to 44. So let's see. So I guess in, God damn, 6 years, I'll be 35.
All right.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
2030.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you can date 19-year-olds again. Congratulations.
Oh, is 35 the cutoff?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is it?
In like 20 years, I can start hitting on teenagers. So I'll be in that, right? Circle back around to.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Hold on.
19,
hold on.
though.
Hold on, Sleepy Joe. Like that. There's got to be a point at which you can't hit on. We already talked about that earlier in the show. Like
exactly.
He clearly should not be moving in on a 15-year-old or whatever she was. Like that was creepy.
A little bit.
Yeah. 13. Yeah, she was 13. So no,
That's
not
just
okay.
weird.
Even, you know what? Even if she was 25, dude, I mean, he's like 80. Like, fuck off. She was literally.
She wasn't having it. She was like,
yeah.
This is not cool. I know
You
you
were an
are.
old man.
My parents
You were
warned me that you were coming in today.
Yeah. Like, if you're already an old man when someone's born, you probably shouldn't be flirting with them at whatever point.
Definitely not.
Tabby just said anything over a 15-yard difference is icky. So I can. No.
Yikes.
Hefe, you can go back to 34 this year. That's the rule.
But the retro aging, Steve. So 27.
That's true. True.
Right.
He's got a point.
Sorry.
You forgot all about that. How?
I did.
It's
You're right.
who I am
Hey,
now.
did you have your new segment ready, or are you going to do that next week?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah,
Here's
let's do it.
Hefe's new segment. Hefe, give us your farm report for the week.
Okay. Well, first of all, for all the people out there wondering why is he doing the farm report, how is he qualified? Hello, my stepdad had a pecan farm when I was young, and I went there once. So I am the most qualified of the three of us. There, just get that out of the way.
Fuck yeah.
The farm report is that back in 2017, Wisconsin had 64,000 farms, and the average acreage is 221. That's your farm report. Are you ready? Please.
Fucking nailed it. Like a goddamn boss.
Dude is dropping fucking bombs, knowledge bombs on us. Where do we go from there, dude?
Goddamn
God damn.
brilliant. That was like a fucking hero.
I'm sure Aaron already knew that too.
Aaron might already know that, yes.
Oh, God. That was the best part of my whole fucking day right there. That was great. Well done. Both of you.
Hefe, you fucking nailed it. You fucking nailed it. Oh, my God.
That was awesome, Steve. Thank you for the...
Hey, that was all you, Daddy.
No.
That's going to be a weekly thing. So you just set it up and fucking knock it out of the goddamn park. That's what we want. What do you guys want to do for episode 150? It's coming up. It's soon. What do we do for this?
How soon?
Well,
this is
we're
this is
recording 145.
145. Yeah, this is 145.
So we've got 5 weeks.
next month or so. Yeah.
Yeah, like middle of February.
That's crazy.
It is.
It's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, we got to come up with something. We got a little bit of time.
I'm open to suggestions from any, listeners, Patreon. Throw us some ideas of what you would like to see for 150. I've got a couple of ideas that I want to float by you guys. Not on air, but just yeah, and mostly because it's like like wild shit. But I think it could really be fun. So I mean, because 150, it's not like. I mean, you think about what America did for its 150th anniversary. It was like kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And then they did a big one for 200, and then yeah. So the 50 years aren't as big as the evens, but they're big. So
No, it absolutely is. And especially when you think about like most podcasts don't get past like episode 20.
right.
Right. And we're in rare air. I mean, even right now, just some of the folks in our Patreon. I mean, Tabby and Mike, Gray's Tap Room. You guys are blown. I can't remember what you guys are on now, but it's like way in advance. Thank you, 136. Aaron, you guys are ahead of us. I think you've got like 170 something like that. Thank you, 217.
Holy shit!
Jesus,
Good for you, Aaron. Holy crap! Good for you.
Damn.
Dude. Doing it right. That's how you do it.
Joe. I mean, he's got his show, and I mean, he's done a ton too. So he blew the whole 20 away. It's rare air that we're in, and the nice thing is I don't feel like we're just getting going. So
yeah, we haven't
I'm
even
looking forward to another
peaked.
150. Absolutely.
Yeah, seriously. Well, it's just too much fucking fun. I mean, we've said it before. Even if we only had like 2 people listening, it's worth doing the show. So, and we have a lot more than that, and it's growing every week we get more listeners. And thank you to everybody who's first time on this week. Hopefully, you stick around for another week. We're trying to get better. We keep trying to improve and do some new stuff. McShane coming in hot with the music sound effects for the segments. Well done. That was great.
Hefe, you didn't hear wait till you hear the sex beer segment.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, he shocked me with that one. I did not see that coming.
For you, but you're just gonna have to experience it like everybody else. So
I'm looking forward to it.
That was 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink for me.
yes, it was.
I love that you guys are on speakerphone.
Oh, are we on speakerphone right now? Are we on the dock?
Aren't we always?
I'm about to go in.
Oh, you are.
That's what she said, or
right.
he said. I don't know. One of them said.
All right. Hey, how's Gretchen doing?
Gretchen's doing good.
Good.
Busy night, so she's
good.
been.
She hustling?
Oh yeah, she's hustling. She's mucking, doing all of it.
You walk in there.
She's
and
a father mucker.
You tell her that Fitz and I said, keep that shit up.
I will tell her. All right, boys. Have a good night.
All right,
all right, man. You too.
See ya.
Fitz.
Yeah.
What beer are you taking to bed?
Well, clearly the Wiley Roots won the night. Just because it was just so plainly in my wheelhouse. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned this earlier. This was an Imperial Oatmeal Stout, which is
really
like you're talking about rare air there. Imperial Stouts, Imperial Porters are much more common. This was an Imperial Oatmeal Stout. So,
what was
Oatmeal
the name
Stouts
again?
That was the Breakfast at Wiley's. And so it was, and even though it was an Imperial, it only got up to a 7.5. So oatmeal stouts are historically hard to get up in ABV just because the oat doesn't break down very quickly. It's a slow burning sugar, which is why, farmers ate steel cut oats and so forth, because it was a slow burn all day. But still, what a phenomenal beer. The sweetness of the maple and the pecan was perfectly balanced by the coffee. Really, really, I mean, it was kind of like, just the perfect balance of the girl you meet at the bar. She's flirty, she's fun, she's cute, but she's also kind of dirty in the sack when you get home. And you're never going to see her again because like she's at 8 and you're a 2, but she just, decided to take mercy on you. you're never going to see this girl again. But you had the fucking night of your life, and it was worth it. That was this beer.
That
Phenomenal
is neat.
beer. I actually, I can't wait to find another Wiley Roots beer that really surprisingly good. And like you said, from all accounts, they don't make a bad beer. So that might be one of our one to add to the list of just fucking phenomenal brewers. Nothing bad to say about the Imperial Stout, or I'm sorry, the Imperial IPA from Rogue. It's just,
It's a Rogue.
I'm not an IPA. Yeah, it's a Rogue. It's good beer. It's an IPA, so I'm gonna be partial or impartial to it. You have to do a lot to make an IPA really appealing for me. Although I will say I'm almost finished with it, and not one bad sip. It's a solid beer. So, good beer. Just not somebody I'm gonna invite into the bedroom. Kind of a little bit too abrasive for me. I'm gonna go with the Wiley Roots. How about you? Which beer did you go with? And I already know the answer.
I actually have a tie. And
really?
We were speed dating.
So I don't know the answer.
Well, we were we were speed dating, and I got both phone numbers, and we're gonna go out again.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah,
I like that.
We're gonna try and go out again. Two Tides Animal Face. Here is the thing about that one. I was way more interested in a nice candy-like experience. And that's what I got out of that. Whereas the Tiny Ego was a totally crushable, I'm gonna go on a stout run. I want 4 of these, and this is all I'm drinking in one night. That was a great one.
Yep.
But I was really, I started to get into the sour as the night went on, and it was. I still don't think they executed well because there wasn't any strawberry there for me. There wasn't any peach there for me. I think there's raspberries supposed to be there. That wasn't there either. There was no berries there. But the bite of the pineapple was really interesting. And then you've got the blended notes of the watermelon that was like, you know what? That was actually a really fun beer. So, we're gonna go out again, and we'll see how it goes from there.
I like it.
So there you go.
I like it. Yeah, I like that. You can't really decide, and neither one were terrible.
No, they weren't. I couldn't really fault either of them. They had 2 totally different roles, but neither of them were like, "Wow, I can't wait to go out with you again." It was just like, you know what, I'll go again. It's fine. We'll all go. So we'll see. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate that we get to be your news show and bring a little levity to the world that's always, every day, it seems to be on fire. At whiskey_hell is the X feed. If you guys go and tap into it, you guys can go to whiskeyhellpod.com. And check out the show in the show notes. And also, you can go to our Patreon. You can even go there from the website if you want to. But go to the Patreon. Even just get the $1 tier. And you're not going to get all the goodness, but you'll at least be able to be involved in the bingo card that we're doing, which is going to be fun and games. Which everybody, please mark off your cold bomb if you have it on your card. But yeah, it's all good stuff. We appreciate everybody listening and putting up with us throughout the week, and especially our Patreons, everybody who came tonight: Tabby, Mike, Calliope, Elle, Buttercup, Aaron. We missed Beard. We missed Joe. We'll catch you guys last week. Tabby came in chat. I'm not going to go to what actually happened there. I'm just going to assume it was really good. I'm Steve McShane.
And I'm Fitz. We love every one of you.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.